So we are recording now. So what I was saying the other time is let's create a table. Uh let me use okay let's create a table and call it what are we really trying to achieve? To search amount that is greater than the okay to search amount that is greater than the supplied amount, right? Okay, now let me quickly create a table and call it a transactions. So let's call it id big int or int primary key auto increment. I'm not going to teach you this one again as I'm using it. You should learn it along, but try to use normal code so that you'll be able to familiarize yourself with the code. Let's say narration, um, let's say trans status, let's say what again, trans date time, right? Let's say posted by. Let's say this is the user email, and let's say uh, username. So let's create the this thing like this. So we now have the table. So if I said explain transaction, I think the table name is wrong. Supposed to be transactions. So you do now to look at it. The table name is wrong, right? So we can actually rename the table using alter table. We just say rename these transactions so that you should rename it to transaction. So if I refresh the table now, see it's having transaction. So I want to generate some data online. Uh, if you use this mocaro.com to generate data, anytime you are working and you want to generate some kind of dynamic data, start data online. This one is row number. Please keep quiet. So I would like to generate data. Are you there? So amount, let's try to add something to this. Let's say currency, right? What is it? So let's name. Let's say, let me try to alter the table. It's easy to add this, alter table transactions. Add currency. Let me just make it 20. It's fine like that. So what we have in this table, we have a amount, we have a transaction. So let's go and say amount here. We have to make it to be This one will go ahead to add this into it. Let's just make it number. Where is the narration? Narration. So you can just choose something to represent so that it generates the data. What again? We have a tran date, we have a user email, username and currency. We have a tran date, date time. You have to choose the format of the date that MySQL actually want. You can say from 20 this to this. So the format of the date that MySQL actually want SQL date time. Can you see it? So most importantly, if you generate user email, let's say email address, user name, let's even say it is a first name, username. Let's call it like this. Okay, currency, right? So you can go ahead to add field currency. If we want to have a custom list, right? We can say ngn usd ebp, stuff like this. So you can say you want to generate like 150. You understand? The format should be SQL. You understand? So just preview. Can I say it? So you can say the name of the table is transactions, right? So if I ask you to work on something, this is how you generate the table. Let's see if we add money to it. Let's try to preview. It added currency to it, and we don't want that currency to be added to it. Let's just leave it to number. So let's preview. So we can go ahead to say we can copy or we download, right? So I can come here. Since I can come in and run it, it doesn't you did not insert 100 rules. You understand? Do you get what I'm saying? Cut some stuff. Why copy? But if you download it, it will download the 150. You understand? I think we're only able to copy. So we have enough data to interact with now. And say select all from transactions. What is this? So oh, I think I got what happened. It executes the statement under the question. If we are supposed to do this, I duplicate entry for that one. So select all from transactions. Let's say limit 50. We just want 50. Mhm. So we have record to play with now. We forgot to put transaction status, right? Let's go ahead. Let's go ahead to trans status. Trans status. We still want it to be a custom. Consider, let's say, pending page. So let's go ahead to preview this guy. Yes, we can do that. We can. Anytime you are working, see, there is nothing you want to do that is not somebody has not done it before. So don't try to reinvent the wheel. If you're, let me try and create a transactions. So let's try to select all from transactions. Let's say limit 50. Just want to fetch 50 rules. Okay, now we have this. So I want to create a store procedure. I don't want to go through here, right? I want to do something like this. It's the same thing. Is it not the same thing that it created for us? Create procedure. Just that the only thing that is omitted here is limit. I mean the delimiter. So I can say, okay, I want to fetch. I want to create a procedure. I can put in. I can say fetch uh, maximum transaction, right? I can ask. Okay, fetch transaction greater than amount. So I can go ahead to put amount here. Amount, I can say is this double, right? Because I have to put the data type here. I can actually select all from what? Transaction where amount greater than, let me say AMT. AMT. You understand? So this one will give us, let's say we want to say trans status. You understand? Let's say and we want to add we want to see that, okay, maybe it's this one. Want to add sources transaction. Ah, hallelujah. Hello, can you join again? Okay, so let me share my screen again. I think my network disconnected. So if I pause the video, okay. Maybe I'm going to show you. Let's say we want to fetch a transaction that have this status, right? So we want to fetch any amount that is greater than this. Okay, let's say greater than or equal to this, and the transaction status is any amount, any transaction status we put, right? So if we try to save now, you see now we have saved it, right? So let's say we want to call, we can say call this. So I can pass, let me see if there is anybody that is 200, and I can say sources. Let's copy any of the stuff there. So that means I want only people that have this thing. Uh, let me say, 60. Mm-hmm. Can you see that one? Let me quickly pick this call. Can you see it? Yeah. So you can go ahead and say they want to create. If you look at this, it means that people that have amount greater than or equal to this. So if I say 80, so if I say 80, that is when transaction amount is 80, you understand? You can go ahead to create this thing as well. Do you get what I'm saying? So there is what we call, I think after this, after you can go ahead to create any store procedure that you want to create that will do so many other stuff other than this. And if I decide that I want to actually sort it, you understand? I can go to my store procedure, alter it, and say okay, order by amount in descending order. So I can apply it. So you remember that it was not sort before. Look at it. It's now sorted. So let me pick this call. 4 number. Uh-huh. So hallelujah. Let me teach you. There is something we call um after you learn view stop procedure. There is something we call this thing, trigger. So trigger is just like maybe, and there is something we call event. You get it? So we are going to work on event. We are going to work on trigger. Event is just like something that you want it to happen maybe at a particular time. You understand? Maybe at a particular time, or maybe every day, maybe at 12 a.m. You want something to happen to your database. You want to do something, and those are the things we call event. So, but when we say trigger now, trigger, if you insert record into one table, you want you want it to you want certain event to happen in another table. You understand? That is what we call a trigger. Let's say, and we can use trigger to actually update. So when you are creating trigger, let me show you the signature. You say create trigger, you give trigger a name, trigger name. You now need to have time, then followed by operation. You now need to say on, you now need to say table, then you now perform your query. You understand? This is how trigger will go goes. So let me show you an example. You can have a product here. Let's quickly create a table. Create a table, products, ID, int, not no to increment, right? Let's say product name, right? Back, let's say 100. Let's say quantity, int, sales price, right? Let's say double, let's say purchase price. Huh? We can equally purchase price. So let now say amount, double. Let's say uh, let's say purchased date. We put date. We can put date here instead of date time. But here you need to do primary key. You put the ID there. This is how to add the primary key from the beginning. I think we've not done this one before. So if you want to say, so this is how you can add that primary key from the beginning. ID int, not know to increment this and that. Then before you know, you now create a table. So we have our table created now, right? So we can actually insert into this table. And if you want to insert into table, we can say, okay, product name, quantity, sales, and purchase date, right? Let's go ahead to generate a data for it. Uh, uh, sorry. Hello, die. Hello, I want to pick my car from. Let's remove the ID. Since the ID will increase by itself. Let's say from between 100 and 200 to 50,000. Let's say purchase date, and let's choose the format. This one now put date time. It's supposed to be date. Can't we just choose a normal date? We have sales price and quantity, right? Amount. We don't want to put. We just want. Let's put sales price, right? Let's put quantity. Let's put a number. We want to put this row number. We don't need this one. How many is this? One, two, three, four. So so if you try to uh if I try to, I can say products, right? Since that is the table. I try to preview the table. If we add record to this table, we just say insert there on no field tran date. Uh, do we add the tran date there? Oh, how many feet do we supposed to price quantity? We choose it, right? We're not supposed to. Yes. So let's preview again. So let's go back and say, when you add the record now, you can fetch from that table. You can say select or from products. But there are times that you see you are not calculating the amount is null, right? Product name, we left the product name. We have to go and generate the. Let's go and regenerate the data. You see how useful this thing is for us to be able to do a lot of stuff. We can say product. So we can go ahead to truncate products. So. We are not adding record to primary key because it auto increment. So it will insert by. So I can select all from products. Let me limit 2 or limit 10. Can I see? So, but this one is no. But we can actually create a trigger that will update this, or we create a trigger that will insert into another table. You understand? So when I tell you a trigger, uh, we can actually create a trigger. There are three times we have in a trigger. When I say you have to create a trigger, create trigger, the name of the trigger. This one is the time. Is either before or after an event occur. These are the operations you need to perform. And you need to say on what, which table. You now say for each row, you can now begin with your statement. Do you get it? If you get this, you can just so if you look at they say create trigger this. You can now say for each row, they say insert into this one they are inserting, but we don't want to insert. We can just try to update a new record. Let's say trigger to update another column. Yes. So let's say let's say for each this we can say set let's begin. Let's say create trigger. We can give it a trigger name, or if you don't want to, I think there is no way to create a trigger here. Do you get it? Let's say product. Let's say uh, product amount update. Before update, we can say before insert. You understand? Into what products? You understand? For each row, we can we are not inserting into another this thing. What we want to do is, but I want you to take or something. We can say I want you to take order for each row. I can say set amount eh, equal to new dot quantity times new dot What's that? Is this a price? We are supposed to put begin so that since we want to execute, well, we are not using the limit anyway. Is it end if? So now let me explain this. We create trigger. We can create trigger before, we can say before what? Insert. It should be after insert. You can say after insert on product, for each row, set amount equal to new dot. If you see this new, that's the new record uh you want to add. Old, if it's old, we have both new and old. Assuming that we want to update, that is when we use old, because it means that quantity already exists. It means that sales already what exist. You understand? We can actually on no system variable trigger for each row. Let's say, let me say begin. Oh, let's say it's supposed to be new, sorry, it's supposed to be o dot amount is equal to, because the amount must be there before. Let me see. Updating of row is not allowed in trigger. If I say new dot amount, let's say new dot amount, it just are not allowed to update in trigger. What I'm going to do next, I'm going to see what is actually the problem here. But well, you can go ahead to create this table from your end. Go and create this table. We'll work on it tomorrow because I need to go and pick my car from this guy. Let me copy create for you. You can just run it. Okay. All right. Tomorrow, I will upload this